Lewis Hamilton, can he pull together a stronger weekend? This article here from The Athletic kind of breaks down some of the details that Lewis has been, struggling with. The seven-time champion has been struggling since the Chinese sprint race where he did take the top step, so to speak. He's expressing a lot of discomfort within this car. Insider Alex Brundle even noting that Lewis isn't as confident into the corners, has shown literal signs of increased braking, not quite as much, confidence going into high-speed cornering, low-speed cornering, etc. In turn, it's making him lose speed all across the board. Lewis in Saudi Arabia, where he won the first ever Grand Prix with Mercedes, finished 31 seconds behind his teammate. Post-race expressed that it was going to be a tough season ahead, saying, and I quote, "If this is how it's going to be for the rest of the year, it's going to be painful." So with all that in mind, how put yourself in Lewis's shoes, Kevin? Like how do you walk into this weekend and try to rebuild some kind of confidence?
The way that I try to build confidence is just trying to improve on whatever you think the car can do. He made it clear that he was going to work on it, and that he wasn't going to take time off, and he was going to do his best to prove that Ferrari was good and that they could get better. And so I guess for me, if I'm Lewis,
there are other drivers.
Yeah. if I'm Lewis, I'm just trying to get 110% out of the car and make it perform better than what I'm expecting for that weekend.
Yeah, I mean, because overall, he's about the middle of the pack as far as, drivers trailing their teammates on qualifying pace, the average being a little over 0.3 of a second between him and Leclerc. The last 2 weekends, they've been tougher. He's been behind in qualifying by over half a second. So the car characteristics seem to have kind of pulled away from Lewis. He's not quite meeting the car as it progresses. Since the upgrades came in Bahrain, it's like there was a reset within Lewis, within this car. Familiarizing yourself over the first 3 to 4 weekends, the first 3 to 4, race point scoring formats, and then seeing that car fundamentally change out from underneath you, it's a whole nother learning curve. And the way that this car already behaves was a whole learning curve all on its own. Look, Lewis is an all-timer. He's in a new team, and we all understand that there's going to be growing pains for Lewis Hamilton within this new situation. But I think, in all honesty, and the reality of this situation is this is really just going to be a warm-up. For him, I think this is kind of a year you do punt. It's not going to be an easygoing season. I think if he lands a couple of podiums here and there, that's going to be something to build on. That's going to be a confidence booster. I don't think he's going to necessarily do it here in Miami. Ferrari have had some strong performances here, but no wins. I think overall, 2025, if you're Lewis Hamilton, chalk it up in the books already. This is going to be learning the infrastructure. This is going to be growing pains. This is going to be learning how the team walks through its procedures. What does A, B, C, plan D, plan E look like? What do all of these things mean? Getting familiarized with Maranello and your engineer. So this is going to be a year where the expectations are going to be a lot lower. Depending on how Ferrari walk into 2026, things could look drastically different. But if you're Lewis Hamilton, this particular weekend, I think the target goal has to be, I would say, P5. Leclerc got a P3. It was a lot of work to get there, but it can be done. So if you're Lewis Hamilton, I think a very fair goal week in, week out is going to be fighting P5. If you're around P7 to P8, that's probably a rough weekend, right, for Lewis Hamilton in this Ferrari.
I would say P5 is what you have to have because
it's attainable.
Charles, because we've already said they got the 4th and 5th probably fastest car respectively on the grid. So,
well, I'd say third to 4th, right? Depending on the weekend,
right?
4th to 5th would be quite a ways back.
Well, I guess I just mean placement wise between Charles and Lewis, the 4th and 5th. I would say placing 4th and 5th is not out of the ordinary. I would say for Lewis placing 5th, you got to. That would be improvement for the car, and for Charles, I mean, just trying to keep striving for another podium.